How y'all doing, everybody? What's up, family? Welcome back to the Willing and Able show. Today I have a very, very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chauncey Whaley. I am from Jacksonville, Florida. A fall 2024 graduate of the Edward Waters University, located in the city of Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Proud alumni of Edward Waters University, same as
Oh
I.
yeah.
You know the Tigers got to represent, man. But first off, I want to say thank you for coming on to my pod. It has been a pleasure talking with you off camera, and now we finna show them what that E-Dub spirit got for us.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
So, what was your childhood growing up in Jacksonville like?
It was unique. I am mostly a product of the Northwest area, Jacksonville, Florida. Most of the schools on the Northwest area, Jacksonville. So I came with that uniqueness. Product of Johnny Four Elementary School, product of SP Livingston, product of I forgot my last elementary school. Ain't that something? North Shore Elementary School. There we go. So those upbringings in Jacksonville was amazing. I felt like we was more of a community as I was coming up in Jacksonville. Most of my family was close to me. Had great childhood friends out there playing street football in the streets in the afternoon. Had my mama worried it's all outdoors. So that time in Jacksonville in the '90s was just amazing. And we was just safe, even though we was around a lot of violence, but we didn't see it in our neighborhoods that much. So it made the environment safe, fun, and made my childhood upbringing in Jacksonville amazing. I miss it so much coming up as a child in the city.
That's what's up. That's what's up. It seemed like you had a very, very interesting childhood. You said you had your mama word out there playing football.
In the streets, man.
but
If you don't get your behind
yeah,
inside the house,
yeah, it'd be like that. But yeah, Jacksonville was an amazing city when I was there for those 4 years as well. And it just like a city like no other. I thought it was gonna be like Atlanta, but when I got there, I was like, whoa, nah, this totally different from Atlanta. Like y'all got your own culture down there, and it just was amazing spending time down there. So I just imagine growing up down there with the things that you experienced. My next question for you is, how did you get into Christianity? How did you find Christ?
well, how I got into Christianity and how I found Christ is two different stories. First of all, I was raised in the church. When my mother had me, she was serious about her son being connected to the church, and that was one of her strongholds. I mean, she didn't wait too long for me to get baptized. I think I was no more than a month old when she baptized me. So I was raised in the church, but my walk in Christianity became different when I became an adult. You know, most kids, they grow up in church, they resent the church when they turn 18 years old. I ain't going to church no more. I was that dude, I promise you. But you know, God finally reached me in a place as I got older where I had to have an experience with Him. And I think a lot of people have one of those, and I call it the road to Damascus kind of moments where you trying to do one thing, God meets you, blinds you, and just change your whole life around. So that's what happened to me. So then my walk with Christianity became serious because I saw Him not from where I heard Him as, but as somebody I know now because of an experience that happened in my life.
That's an amazing, amazing testimony. And it's like I talked to people before who grew up in the church and they got similar stories as you. Like they was raised in the church and then certain part of their life they just like fell out with the church and then they just did their own thing. So it's just like it's cool that similar things happen to people. Like and that's why I feel like in the Bible it says we gotta confess our sins to each other as well because you never know like what somebody else is going through is something you are currently going through or something that you already have been through. So I'm glad you find Christ and I'm glad he brought his present back to you. So my next question is, what inspires you to get into photography and actually start your own photography business? I've been seeing you promote it, man.
Well, what made me get into photography was I like to see things in pictures. It does something different to me. It really inspires me. So since I like it, and I like museums, I like looking at portraits, I love looking at paintings. I'm just an artsy type of good. Most people think because I like to write, that's all my artistic is. No, I have an eye. I see things. So I told myself earlier this just let's just do something just to do it without thinking about it. Thus, I got a camera because I got a camera because I was trying to do my portfolio before the semester ended for senior seminar and had to have the portfolio ready. So I had to take some photos because it was required for the portfolio. And I said, I'm gonna do something with this. So during the break, well, usually fall break, but no more fall break for me because I'm done now. So I started taking some LinkedIn courses and I'm started learning photography from the technical side, and I'm just out here in these Duval streets taking photography. And it's interesting that you asked me that question. It's because I just got done today going to the railroad district, and people who know Jacksonville, and here go a little history moment. Railroad district of Jacksonville used to be where all the old warehouses used to be at. It stands out from Murder Avenue, Beaver, going across the Viaducts over on the other side where all the warehouses is because that railroad district is because all the trains will come that direction to unload things. So the railroad district of Jacksonville is a whole historic district. It's part of the old Brooklyn area. Brooklyn is old black area of Jacksonville, which is now becoming a whole different level of living. But I said there's murals over there, so I said today, listen, let me go and take some pictures of these mirrors and go over to the left River Sang Park and take some photos. So I'm just up here just catching what my eyes see and just allowing the people to see Jacksonville from my point of view. That's why it's called Whaley Vision.
I like that. I like that you started off with like I'm just taking a chance. And, sometimes that's what you need. Like I told my students today, you never know how far your business can go. Like it could be a small business and then you meet the right person, or you do this one episode on YouTube and then boom, your platform just explodes. So the fact that you said that you just started off of nowhere, basically off of faith, like, God, I know you're going to have me to do something with this. It's truly amazing. And I wish more people would actually step out on faith, man. Because like even with me with this podcast, like, and I told my friends this before, like I was like I would never do a podcast. Like I was like me, I don't even like talking for real. So I've definitely experienced some things and met some wonderful people just by taking a leap of faith. So keep going with that photography, man. I can see you going very very far with that, and you never know who's looking up to you, as well. So, what do you plan on achieving this year with your photography business?
Well, what I want to do this year is I want to not only expose myself to people, but what my eyes see, but I want to give back. One of the things about this, because this is just a venture of many. Just like you, I'm also going to start a podcast this year that's going to be news related, and I'm also connected with a subscription box called Schools HBCU, and I'm also starting a podcast that I'm creating with them also. So photography is one of those things where I would like to have the opportunity with the many other things that I'm doing to get exposed to photography with that. But also, like I said, I want to give back. So I want to do some things for people who just can't afford to do things. And I'm like, listen, you ain't got to pay me right now. I just want to do that favor for you because I want you to see what I see behind the camera so you can have something for yourself saying, you know what, I will never have a idea that's I have this in me. And the reason why that is a guy named Javaris Taylor. And I remember he was starting photography back in 2010. And he asked me to help him out by just, posing for some things. And I remember his journey when it started back in 2010. And now here I am 15 years later doing what he started 15 years ago. And I remember I was a help to him, and I want to actually give those people opportunity because it built up my confidence back then when I was 25 years old. I'm like, man, I don't look bad. Might have a little, if I had a little more height, I could have been a model in real life, but no, 5'8" ain't gonna cut it. But it's all good. It's all right. It's all right. I promise it's all right. But those type of things, and I like to, would be amazing? And I just thought about it. I would like to do a gallery this year. At the end of the year, just showcase all the photography that I've done in 2025. Hook up with a company and, do a gallery thing. Just invite people and just look. And, do an auction, maybe auction some things off the, generator scholarship fund for the communication scholars at Edward Waters University who might need some funds for tuition. I'm like, I got you. So that's what I expect out of 2025 on the photography side.
That's amazing, especially about that scholarship. And it's crazy that you was like somebody helped you out in the past and now you're wanting to help somebody. It's like God kind of foreshadowed and showed you a little bit of, hey, you might be doing this in the future. But at the time you didn't know it. He just was preparing you, and that's amazing because like now you get to prepare the next generation, especially if you do the achievement of giving back to that Waters community, and sending people, because you never know, a kid might not even know they want to do communications or photography in general, and they see you and take a course with you, and now their mind has been sparked and now they on fire and like, okay, I'm finna go do exactly what he did, go to Edward Waters, get into the communication, and boom, like it just could be so much amazing things out of that. So definitely do that if you can, my brother. So speaking of Edward Waters University, the first HBCU in the state of Florida, um, how was your experience there, and what would you tell somebody who was interested in going into Edward Waters University?
I have had one of the most unique and amazing experiences at Edward Waters College and University, because when I came as a freshman, it was through Edward Waters College. It did not become Edward Waters University to 2021, which I had the opportunity to be there when the announcement was made in the Adam Jenkins Center. But my experience at Edward Waters has been amazing. Edward Waters has been my journey on the second half of my 30s. So I'm a non-traditional student. So for most people who don't know what non-traditional is, you're taking full courses, but you are not in that traditional age gap between the ages of 18 and 28 as a scholar. So I went in at 34 years old back in 2019, and it really stretched me. I did not know what to expect as being a college student, but so many opportunities came from being at Edward Waters, then becoming Edward Waters University. I have been challenged. It took 5.5 years. So for those who listen to this podcast, a lot of us want to do it in 4, but some of us take a little longer, but that's okay. As long as you stick it out to get the degree, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So I'm 5.5, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Edward Waters has, man, I can't explain. I'm just so proud of just being an alumnus now that I brag about that purple and orange to life no more in my body. That's how serious I am about my HBCU. But I am grateful for the journey. Edward Waters University has allowed me the opportunity to meet people that I would have never met in life. Edward Waters University has allowed me to be on panels virtually during the pandemic. Edward Waters University has allowed me to be one of 2 individuals who served on the National Pre-Alumni Council Board of Directors for the UNCF, as I served as chaplain 1 year. That has never been done before. So I had an opportunity to make my own history at Edward Waters University. Served on the Student Government Association, served 1 term as the president of the Edward Waters chapter of the NAACP. Man, it's when I think about it, I did a lot, and I just realized 5.5 years flew by so fast. But I say it has been a life changing moment being there. and being around people who inspired me, that I've seen alumni, I've seen student body, inspired me to be better. And because of that, I'm grateful that God allowed me to have an opportunity to have an HBCU experience. Now I can brag about a little more better now. And I tell people this: listen, I know we got all these schools. I understand. I get it. I promise I get it. I understand. And I want everybody to make their choices. So if you live in Jacksonville, Florida, and you thinking about going to a HBCU, ain't nothing wrong going to Kings Road. I mean, it's growing. And and for us who've been there, we have seen the growth. And guess what? There's more growth to come. So I'm excited about the journey, but I'm excited about watching the journey now, because even though I'm done now, I'm more invested in the student body to make sure that they are inspired to continue and finish at Edward Waters. That's one thing that I love about this experience is now I'm in a position now to be that big brother now for people, because I've been through it now and trying to help them get to that next level. And like, listen, I'm about to walk the stage. Listen, I need for you to be walking that stage too, because I want to cry. I want the Kleenex. I want that experience. So let me have that experience while you do it. So yeah, I know I said a lot, but yeah, man, listen, I'm smiling right now, man, because just thinking about Edward Waters University, I just can't help to smile, because what it took for the institution and all what has happened before in the journey, um, it has been amazing, and I've been part of history throughout, even in the middle of it. So yeah, I know you just asked me what the journey was for me, but I just gave a whole history course, and that's okay. That's okay.
That's perfectly fine. Like you have to tell that because most people just don't know about, most HBCUs or college in general. So the fact that you did that could have been for somebody who's going to watch this video. And man, just to piggyback off of what you were saying, like with my experience at Waters, mine was kind of weird too, but it was God driven. I say that sometimes because at Waters University was like a wake up call. It was like my second chance because I went to a previous university before and I was just like, man, college ain't for me. But I ended up getting a scholarship in band to Edward Waters University. And it just was like, whoa, like it was mind blowing. I got the
Yeah.
help that I needed. I got the connections that I never would have got if I wouldn't have went there. Like I went to my dream state. Like I always said, I want to go to college or move in Florida and live. And I actually got to experience that. And it just was so many amazing opportunities being right down the road from the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium. Went to plenty games, sold concessions at them, traveled through the band, went to many states because of that. And I actually was the last class of Edward Waters College. But it's just amazing of how much they're grown since I left 3 years ago. It's just like they've grown so much, and I see all the new potential, and I'm seeing more kids from my area looking at Edward Waters like, oh, Edward Waters, okay, I heard of them, and I'm like, yeah, you might want to check them out because they growing since I went there, and it's just to see like even like when I wear hoodies and stuff with Edward Waters, people stop me, oh, you went to Edward Waters or you went to Eda? I'm like, what you know about that? I They be like, man, I heard about y'all, and I be like, yeah, man, go ahead and check it out and stuff like that, like. It's just that HBCU love, even like at my job now, we got HBCU alumni from every college, and we just connect because we all went through the HBCU experience, and it don't matter what HBCU you go to, what college you go to in general, long as you walk that stage, that's all that matters. It don't matter how long, you could stop and go back, get that degree. It took me 5 years. So hey, it don't matter. Get that degree, and I'm
Right.
telling you, your college experience will be some of the best times of your life. You'll connect with people like right now. I know people that are lawyers. I know people that are teachers. I know people that are entrepreneurs. Like you never know who you're going to run into and who they're going to become. Definitely take that experience, man. You won't regret it. So my last question, well, second to last question is what is your willing and able moment? Now, that moment means what moment in your life that helped mold you into the person that you are today?
It was a previous question that you asked about my Christianity, and that's the reason why I didn't go too hard into the question, because I knew that something like this was going to come on. So let's unpack June 29th, 2010. I went AWOL in the National Guard, which something I'm not proud of. I was homesick at 19 years old. I made the choice that I ain't know it was going to come back and backfire on me, but it happened. Okay? I'm not perfect, y'all. I made choices and still make choices, but the grace of God is amazing when you let it work for you. So in 2010, I got arrested for AWOL, and I spent 14 days downtown in Duval County Public Jail. That is the moment my life changed for me. I'm 25 years old, not doing much, living life without any thoughts. I wasn't out here being reckless, but I wasn't living purposefully. That's the word that we're going to use today, purposefully. So in that moment, I remember when I was on third floor, cell number 86, and I remember I felt a sensation of warmth coming over my body. Also, the first time that I felt the Holy Spirit hovering in my life. It was, some people that say they have a Holy Ghost experience and it was wild. Mine was it was just like a warm sensation. Like, now when I think about it, it was peaceful. That peace was actually coming in my life because I'm in jail and I hear hard jail stories. And what happened is I had a white dude that was in the cell with me, and he was encouraging me. Every dude that I had experience with in those 14 days, they was actually encouraging me, actually going to Bible studies and things like that. And I remember the day before I got released, I declared, I said, no matter what happens now, I'm okay with God. And whatever God wants, hey, I'm down for it. Because I was struggling. But that next day I got released. And when I got released, my life changed as an individual. Does not mean I ain't make mistakes. Still make mistakes. Because mistakes is something from new experiences that you don't know how to handle. You'll catch that tomorrow. So that experience changed me as a man. Because I knew now then life means purpose, and God has given me opportunity. Now I'm in this relationship with Jesus Christ for myself. I was already saved, but now I'm walking in a relationship. That's another thing. You could be saved and still not be in a relationship with Jesus because you choose not to listen to him. That's a whole nother sermon for another time, another podcast for another time. But in all that, it changed who I was as a man. And it was that moment that pivoted my life to where it led me to. God has a sense of humor. After that moment, he called me to preach in 2012. After that moment, 2019, Edward Waters College, now university, came along. And now here we are in 2025 when I'm going to be starting my Master's Divinity program in August. So I never expected that in 15 years from that moment, I'd be here now. But it's those type of moments that, as I call the road of Damascus moment, that pivots and change your life. So that's the moment, June 29th, 2010.
That is amazing. That brother said he went AWOL. but
And you know where I was at? Fort Benning, Georgia, of all places.
Oh man, you were right down the road. Literally like 30 minutes from my house. That's crazy. I don't know where you were going. Cause you ain't nothing out here but woods.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, I'll tell you exactly what I did. I don't know how I got off the base at that time of night, but I made it. I went to that Greyhound bus station. I got that ticket. I stayed in the motel overnight, got me some clothes from Walmart, and at noon I was leaving Columbus, Georgia, heading back to Jacksonville on a 6-hour ride.
Lord have mercy. That's crazy, man. So my last question for you tonight, my brother, is what advice would you give to the younger generation?
Be yourself. And I know that's something somebody says all the time, but literally, be yourself. Don't give in to peer pressure and acceptance of what trends are. It takes away from your originality. And I really hope young people listen to why I say this. You've been created uniquely by God to stand out and be different. And that means, listen to what I'm saying, people won't understand you. Be okay with that. They're not supposed to understand you. They just supposed to watch what you do. Lord have mercy. That's a good one right there. And because of that, my advice to you is simply this: embrace your originality. Because the only reason why they talk about your negativity is not because they don't like you. They don't understand you, so they have to put a label on you that they don't understand. That lets you know that you are different, and that is okay. So my advice: accept your originality. It's how God made you. He made you to stand out to be different in this world because you have a gift that might look familiar to a lot of people, but it's unique in the purpose how it comes out. So I want you to tap into that. Really tap into that. Education matters. Education matters. I don't care how much money out here in this world. High school diploma matters. Now, if it comes to college and you decide you want to go another route, everything you don't have to require a degree. If you want to be a business owner, get an entrepreneur license and do that. But if you want to be an effective manager, then I recommend for you to go to college and get a business degree. If you got a talent, go to college and tune it in. Professors are there, are professionals who have been in the field to come and give you advice that will tell you to be yourself. We know about Edward Waters. They will tell you to be yourself. Like, we don't want that nonsense. We want you to be you. That's why you came here. So that's why being you matters so much, because you're going to be put in environments where they don't want to copy. They want you. And live life. Listen, one of the issues for young folks, and I'm telling y'all this, y'all trying to live life in somebody else's shadow. Live life. As I told someone today, relax. Just relax. Live life. Make memories. Plan ahead, but stay in the now. So those are some of the advice that I will give young people. And enjoy family. Be good to grandparents. Be good to your parents. Because you never know how much you're going to have them in life. So once they gone, they gone. And you're going to miss them when they gone. But between that, enjoy life. Be yourself. Get much education that you can. And oh, by the way, if you go to college, try to get scholarships. Don't go in debt. Don't be like me that got to get ready for a $300 loan. I got to start repaying sooner or later. That's gonna hurt my heart and my feelings. So be responsible and just live life. So those are some of the advice that I will give young people that I wish I got at that age. Maybe I did. I wasn't listening, but listen to me. I got 39 years in the game. Went through a little something. Don't go through what I had to go through to get to where I am now. Do it differently.
That's a word. I don't have nothing to say, but I struggle with that myself for trying to be like everybody else. And what he said was factual. I know that was God speaking through him. Because I need to hear some of that too. But definitely don't be like anybody else. You're uniquely made. God made you unique. Unique. He didn't make you like no one else. And that's the end of the podcast, family. I hope y'all really, really enjoyed this episode. Thank you again, my brother, for coming on to the Willing and Able show. I'm definitely going to chop it up with you after we get off of here. But to my family, y'all have a blessed, a positive, and a productive day. Peace.